Hello, I'm Graham and welcome to today's video. And today I have another product review for you, and it's the Suaoki G7 portable power bank, which is a multifunction device. It's multifunction in the respect that it's a jump start unit, so you can actually cold crank your car if you've got a flat battery, but it also is a power bank, and from the power bank you can charge USB devices or things like notebooks and laptops and other peripheral devices which you can power from either 12, 16 or 19 volts. Let's have a closer look at this unit, which I was supplied to review by the manufacturer. The actual device is contained within this very nice plush looking storage case. It's a hard case which protects the unit when you've got it in your car, perhaps in the boot as an emergency device. So inside the device you have a compartment which neatly stores away all the connecting cables. So you have connecting cables for the jump start facility and the notebook adapters, which there are 8 of, a short cable to connect this device to your notebook or laptop, a 12 volt adapter so you can use it to charge in the car, and then you've got a mains charger which is relevant to your particular country of purchase. You'll also find in the cable collection a micro USB cable. In the lower part of the device we've got the instruction manual and the actual device itself. Now this one is in green, but it is available in bright orange, so you can locate it in the boot of your car at night time, for example. Let's take the unit out and have a closer look. So this is the actual device itself. It measures 7 inches by 4 inches by about 1.5 inches thick at its widest point. It weighs about 1.5 kilograms or 3.2 pounds. It's a ethylene vinyl acetate case, so it is sort of drop protected. It's got a nice texture feel to it. It contains, I would imagine, 18650 lithium polymer cells in here to provide sufficient power for the jump start circuit. Looking around the case, you can see here on the front we have the master power switch, which turns the unit on or off. Although the jump start circuit is active all the time, you don't need this unit powered on to use the jump start. But you do need it on to use the USB or the port which allows you to use the 12, 16 or 19 volt peripherals. On the right hand side of the unit here we have a display which tells you the percentage of charge remaining in the unit. It also tells you the output mode that you've got this selected for, so you can either see the 12, the 16 or the 19 volt on the screen as to which voltage you've got it selected. On the top here is also a series of 4 red LEDs, and these can be used as an emergency beacon. If you've broken down by the roadside or you wanted some rescue, you can switch this into a mode which flashes these 4 LEDs. There's also a built-in 3-function torch which you can use to illuminate a subject or provide an emergency beacon as well. Let's look at the attachments you get with the G7 power bank. The first one is the primary purpose of this, which is the jump start unit, and this cable allows you to connect the G7 unit to the car safely. It has got well insulated crocodile clips, so there's no danger that you're going to short these together either when it's plugged into the unit or whether it's on the car. And on the cable itself is a smart IC, so it detects whether you've got this connected to the battery the wrong way around, and it also protects this device if your battery is fully charged and you try to charge the battery from this unit. So it's got some built-in warnings and indicators which are indicated on the back of the unit to protect you and the charger unit before you use this device. We also get a set of 8 notebook adapters, and they're the common tip sizes which will fit into the notebook. So for example, I've got this little HP notebook, and the supplied adapter will fit into the power socket inlet for this device. So we've got 8 of the common tips and a short connecting cable. You're also supplied with a micro USB cable, so that would go into things like smartphones or tablet devices. You can also connect things like cameras if they're charged through USB or any USB devices. To charge this unit we have a mains powered adapter and there will be one supplied for your specific country. So here in the UK we've got the 3-pin BS1363 type plug. In the States obviously you'll get the wall socket adapter for that particular country. You also get the 12 volt cigarette lighter adapter, so you can charge this device from the car once you've got your car started. So you've got two means of charging this device. Being 18,000 milliamp hours, it does take a while to charge if you've fully depleted it. So it will take something like 11 or 12 hours overnight to charge this unit fully from fully depleted. To turn this unit on, we just slide the master switch to the on position, and you can probably see now the display is illuminated and it's showing you the battery percentage, which is 98%. You'll also see that while there's no external device connected, the USB port is enabled, and it shows you that we're showing here 5 volts. So the 5 volts is now available at these TIRC ports. Now these TIRC ports are smart ports, so they will detect the peripheral that's attached to it and supply the maximum charging current that that device will need. So dependent on the peripheral that you plug into here, the smart ports will deliver the maximum charging current that that device needs. So if it's a smartphone or a tablet device or a digital camera, these ports will provide you up to 2.1 amps in charging circuit. If you wanted to use the port to power up a notebook or a laptop, then with the power switch here, you'll set the voltage that you want to appear at this port. And on the bottom of the display, you'll find that you can go from 12 volts, 16 volts or 19 volts. And you'll do that before you attach this cable. Once you attach this cable, that voltage is locked down, so that, for example, if you've got it set for 12 volts, no inadvertent pressing of this button will change that output voltage. So that's a safety feature for your device. So for example, if I wanted to power my notebook, which is 19 volts, I would select 19 volts on the output by stepping through until I see 19 volts on the display, and then I can plug in this adapter cable. Now that is set to 19 volts, and if I try to press this button, I can operate the torch, I can operate the emergency light, but I can't change that voltage on the port. It's then a case of just selecting the right tip that I would need, and in this particular case it's the one for the HP notebook, and this will now plug into the side of the notebook, and I could power up the notebook from this device. So the notebook is now being powered from the G7 multiple power bank. If you wanted to charge USB devices, then for example here I have my digital camera, which is USB charged. So to enable the USB ports, you've got to remove the connecting cable for the outlet port. If you've got that cable connected, it turns off the USB port, so you can't simultaneously charge your USB device while you're using the notebook adapter. So without a connector in the outlet port, the USB ports are enabled, and I can plug this into here now, turn on the power, and we've now got 5 volts enabled, and you can see the digital camera is now charging from this power bank. And again, if you had a smartphone, by the same procedure, plug in your smartphone into the port, allow this device to charge up to the recommended power taken by that device. And you can of course use both ports simultaneously, so I can be charging my camera and charging up the phone simultaneously from both of those ports, and they'll supply 2.1 amps from each port. As I mentioned previously, you can use this as an emergency beacon. So for example, if you were by the roadside and broken down and you wanted to use this as a warning device, or if you're out trekking and you got injured and wanted to attract attention, then you can use this as an emergency beacon. By using the power button, if you depress it quickly twice, you'll enable the 4 flashing LEDs, and this will remain powered for a good couple of days because of the capacity of the unit if it's fully charged. So you can have that as a flashing beacon, and again just double depress quickly will turn those off. Now if you press and hold down the power button, you can enable the torch. So press and hold for 3 seconds will bring on this very high intensity LED torch, so you can use this to find your way around or illuminate the subject while you do a repair to your tyre, for example. If you press and hold it again for 3 seconds, it will go into a SOS mode, which is 3 dots, 3 dashes, 3 dots. Again, if you hold it down for 3 seconds, it will give a rapid flashing sequence. And again, to turn it off, just press and hold for 3 seconds and the LED torch will turn off. As I mentioned previously, you can use the external charger to charge this up, either the mains powered adapter, and that will go into the charging port, or you can use the 12-volt adapter which plugs into your cigarette lighter within your vehicle, and again just plugs into the power port. When I was asked to review this by the manufacturer, I was rather skeptical whether this would actually cold crank a car. It's quoted that they will crank a 5-litre petrol engine or a 3.5-litre diesel engine and will provide enough current for about 20 starts. When you consider the size of battery that's in a modern vehicle, you think, how can such a small device provide enough current to crank over their car? But this is quoted to provide 400 amps or 600 amps at a 3-second peak level. I thought the only way to test this device would actually to be flatten my own car battery. So I put on the lights, the heated rear window, the fan, and actually discharge my car battery. I had to take it below 7 volts before this device would allow me to connect it safely. So it assumes that the battery is quite flat. Once I'd gone below the 7 volts, it was quite easy then to connect the positive and negative terminals to the battery, and I got a green LED on here, which means it's safe to start. Once you're in that condition, you plug this connector into the jump start port on the front of the unit. So behind this rubber flap, you've got the 2 power points which are constantly enabled. So that's the reason why there's a rubber guard there, because these 2 terminals in here will provide you 400 amps discharge current, which could be quite nasty if you shorted those out. So once you've got the cables connected to the car, you simply plug this into the unit. The unit will have a solid green LED on there, which means it's safe to start the car. You'll go inside the car, press the start button, and this unit will deliver that starting current. And in fact, my car started on the first press of the button. Mine is one of the modern vehicles which has got electronic ignition, push button start, so I was rather skeptical there'd be enough power to power up the electronics. So there we are, that's a Suaoki multifunction power bank, primarily a jump start unit for your automobile, but a useful hub for charging and powering peripherals such as smartphones, tablets and cameras, or your notebooks and laptops through the port on the front of this unit.